have what can only be referred to as probably the world's largest collection of bad intro hook lines ever. Good morning from Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It's gonna be a fun day. Join me. Good morning from amazing... I probably should have grabbed the coffee first. It's morning in the Smoky Mountains. It's morning... Good morning from Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Oh, for fuck. Good morning from Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It took me forever to record this morning's. So I'm on my way, cutting through an alley here, on my way from the Riverview Road, where my hotel is, over to the Parkway in downtown Gatlinburg. I'm going to try one more time to try to get a pancake breakfast. There's a place here called the Pancake House. I don't know what it's called, actually. There's always a line like 500 people long. Wish me luck. Alright. This vlog's starting out well. Yeah, the pancake idea is just not gonna happen. I did a time lapse of nice sunrise. Clouds were moving across the sky. It's a beautiful morning off the balcony. But now we have no clouds, which is not great for photography, and it wreaks havoc with my sunglasses. You can barely see where I'm walking. I'm just looking for a breakfast sandwich to go. I gotta get out of here. The lines are already forming over at the Anarchista. I mean, it's like there must be 1,000 people in line already to go up to the mountain. It's time to leave Gatlinburg. Makes you wonder with this pancake place. When did they start lining up? So there is a breakfast place or a restaurant attached to my hotel, the River Terrace, but I guess they're closed for the winter or renovations or something. I just want to point out something. There's a chairlift over here. That's where it goes up into this side. I guess there's a swing bridge or something. A lot of useless information, but I'm rambling. Pre-breakfast. Score. Been thinking a lot about my word for the year, shift. It can really apply to so many things. Like I've said before, I think on yesterday's, or the last episode here, that my word for the year is shift. Every New Year's, I come up with a new word that's gonna be my focus, be my go-to word. Rounded the corner, I thought I'd be by myself. Every time you turn around, there's like somebody loading luggage into their car. There's families walking down the hill, housekeeping going in and out of the doors. Everybody's looking at me like, who the hell are you talking to? All right, we're just going to talk about this word shift a little bit. Again, what I was trying to say on the way up here. Like, for instance, I was walking over to the hotel this morning, and I'm looking around at kind of the dead branches and the cloudless sky and the cool weather, and I'm thinking, I really wish I would have come up here during the fall. And, what am I going to photograph today? What am I going to see? All these conditions are against me. It's busy here because of the New Year's Eve. There's a lot of people, cloudless sky. And I'm like, well, dude, you just got to shift your focus. First of all, be grateful for what you got. You got nice cool weather, which I love. It's not raining, so you got that going for you. And you're healthy, and you have a rental car, and you can go anywhere you want. So maybe I can think about doing like black and white photography today, or I can, look for subjects in the shade, or, what I'm saying is there's always a way to shift your focus and shift your attitude and have an attitude of gratitude. So I'm grateful to be here. Because that road is closed, there's an alternative route I could take. And maybe I could see some stuff over over by Asheville or Hendersonville. Maybe I can go way out of the way. I don't know. And maybe when I'm done rambling here and eating my sandwich, maybe Newfound Gap will open up and I'll just go that way. So I'm really open to how the day's going to unfold. Shifting my focus, not to overuse this word. Second day of the year here. Fireside chat. I rarely do those. But again, I rarely have a fireplace in the room. It's a little noisy now, but first thing in the morning you hear the river. And it's nice. Anyway, we're leaving Gatlinburg. It's got its pluses and minuses. It can be really crowded. It can be congested. And it can be touristy and gimmicky and all of those negative words. But if you shift your focus, right on cue the fireplace goes out. If you shift your focus and you have a nice place to stay, a nice little oasis like I did to watch the fireworks, and you realize that you're really close to nature, and sure, it's gimmicky, but there's a lot of places to eat, a lot of places to grab some fast food if you want, or sit down and have a meal, grab some candy from a candy shop like I did, and I don't know, there's a lot of good things about it too. All right, last couple of sips of coffee. Gonna grab the remaining stuff and hit the road. I'm gonna do that next time. Note to self, book the ticket online ahead of time. And okay, so I wasn't really saying too much here, but what I just want to kind of point out here as I'm driving through the town, I want to compare the two audio sources I have here. This source here is from the dash-mounted camera.
It's a small goal. So
and this source here is from the... Well, what is it? It's from the wireless microphone that I had.
Can I go? That's the question. Yep.
Mounted to my jacket, and just hear how noisy it is.
Garbage truck. That's why everybody's. You can go if you want.
Yeah, even though I have that wind muff on there,
Are you looking?
Just note to self. I think I'm gonna.
Go ahead. I don't think she looked.
Listen to that. I think if I'm going to use that microphone in the future, I should probably mount it to the visor. So anyway, I'm just driving through Gatlinburg now, heading to the Waterfall. Just wanted to kind of break up the boring trip here and do a little teaching action. Mike, you got to work on the audio. Back to me in the past. It looks magical at night, and that's one of the reasons I liked it this time. To the right, there's a place called Ober. It takes you up to the mountain up there. You can take a cable car. So it looks like there's 3 ways to get up there, or up into the mountains. You can go that Ober ride, you can go Anakista, and then there's, on my hotel side, there is a chair lift sort of situation. It takes you up to a bridge and a swing bridge and a bunch of other stuff. And we're heading right into the parks. Smoky Mountain National Park. So you can see how close you are to nature. I'm so happy this road is open, Newfound Gap. I think we're going to stop at the visitor center first. Maybe get some insight as to how to make my trek here down to Franklin. I'll take my time and see what looks pretty here this time of year. Been through here in the fall a couple of times, brought my daughter up here one time. In fact, I'll flash through a few of those images just to show you the difference. I may actually have some car footage from when I drove through here. To look into that. Got terabytes of footage of so many different trips. Cool river over there. Alright, I'll stop yammering for now. Next stop, the visitor center. So I find myself here in the Smoky Mountains. Went up to a place called, I don't know, it's Emerald. I don't know what it is, some campgrounds. It's closed for the season. There's a couple of places you can stop and park, picnic. And I was crossing this bridge here, this water. I wanted to go to Laurel Falls, but the parking lots are really crowded there. So I decided to just come up here and stop and see what I can find. There's nobody here, so I'm cruising around this river here, trying to compose some shots and get the shade here. We've got no cloud action today. Anyway, I'm taking some photos of the river here and the little waterfalls. Actually recording some of the sounds of this little tiny waterfall over here. I'm going to move the audio recorder around and get some perspective from a couple of different areas. And anyway, I'm going to share a couple of the images I shot, some of the video, and some of the sound of the waterfalls here as recorded with my little, whatever it is, F3 audio recorder. Again, in the fall, it's gorgeous, but it's pretty now in its own unique way, even with the midday light. So I'm here again in some of the worst and harshest lighting conditions, and there's no color, there's no branches, or there's no leaves, but I just wanted to shoot an HDR shot, and I want to describe what I'm doing. Even though it's dead and there's branches, to me, one of the things that I'm seeing, and it's standing out, and then I can't wait to see again, is a snow-covered hill beyond the sticks. I wish I could get up there and trim some of the branches away, but it's in the far distance. I'm going to shoot a wide angle bracket, and then I'm going to pinch in and zoom in to a tighter shot of the river way up in the distance, the far distance, try to frame that and get the white mountain in the background. Again, it's an HDR because there's this huge range of lighting. The subject's not great, but I'm here now, so again, let's shift the attitude. Let's see what kind of image we can create with the lighting conditions we have now. So anyway, it's a quick setup to what might be an epic fail. We'll see. I'll try to create something nice in post. Check it out. Those of you that have spent any time at all with me have probably heard me talk about wanting to maybe move to or have as a second home a cabin in the woods by a river. I just stumbled upon this little place here. It's in the park. I'll try to grab a name and put it in the lower thirds. I thought I saw a sign earlier, but I think you can rent it out. But no sign here. It's somewhere. Nowhere is that more relevant, and I mean the wish to do that. What does it say here? Reserved event parking. I gotta get a name for this thing. Anyway. Oh, look how bright this is. Let me get in the shade. It says Spence Cabin. So, what I was trying to say is, on the second day of the year, I haven't been watching the news, but just scrolling through Twitter, seeing what's going on. It's chaos out there right now. I don't know what's going on. I talked a couple of days ago in a previous episode, probably 2 episodes ago, that I had a harsh feeling that something major was going to happen between now and the election. And yesterday, the day before, it's been an explosion of things happening. And when those kind of things happen, I think as you get older, you might relate to this. You put in your time for a few years. You just want a quiet life. You know, you don't thrive on chaos as much as you may have done in your younger years. And you just want a safe place to live out the rest of your life. Anyway, cabin reminds me of that. Never fails. Every time I want to get into a semi-serious topic, there's like people behind me, people in front of me, people coming out of nowhere. What I was trying to say is that cabin reminded me of, just for a second I envisioned, could I live here? Take away the fact that it's in a national park, but could I spend a large amount of time there, secluded somewhat, maybe an hour away from a grocery store? Maybe disconnected from the phone and communication of any sort. In nature, near the bears. I don't know, maybe a long weekend. Can I do it for months at a time? I mean, I want to be connected with society. But I do crave that quiet time. That time away from the chaos, and that's certainly being in a safe area, like I said, as I get older. I don't want to be in a major city living over the next year. But that's just me. My daughter lives in New York. She loves it. And maybe 20 years ago, I'd have a totally different perspective. But right now, I don't know. I don't want to be around crowds. So there's these little cabins up here I think you can rent. Wow, I'm going to look into this. What are these things? What are these? Can you rent these up here, or are these just like
No, these are historical. This is the old historical Elkmont village.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like the 1920s, I think. I guess some city folk came down. They wanted nature, and they built these. So that's why they're kind of like all weird shaped and...
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Happy New Year. Kind of like an outdoor museum, if you would, of old houses from the 1900s. And then he says something about some city folk came down and built them. I don't know what's going on. Appalachian Clubhouse. Oh, guys, right behind me, of course. Everybody's in a hurry. off to the side. Fucking get her at me. I really don't know what I was saying. I was kind of complaining again, as I seem to be doing a lot of today, and I was not supposed to be doing this year, remember? Shift. Let's shift the perspective. So I'm going over the bridge right now where I took those photos, and it's a nice little stop. What I was trying to say is this year is kind of opening up with a little collection of chaotic events. And I don't want to repeat what they are because I don't know. I won't go off on a tangent on what.
All right, so this is current day editing Mike right now, trying to clean this up. I did a large, rather long, actually, rant to camera while I was driving about some things that were happening. Again, we were between the election and the inauguration, and I just as soon not keep that stuff in there. It was basically about a story that was happening, and there were some different sides that were trying to tell the story differently. But again, I just want to get back to the meat of the story, which was me trying to enjoy the Smoky Mountains. And with that word of the year in mind, we're going to shift the attitude away from the rant and back to the Smokies. See, that wasn't that hard, Mike. Back to the story and back to the drive.
Should be recording into a wireless microphone. We'll have to do that in the next one. If there is a next rant. Anyway, I'm just thinking out loud. It's January 2nd. It's a drive through the Smoky Mountains. Just pull off real quick here. Probably going to take the front camera off because I don't want to lose it. If you show you a quick view of where we are, and then we'll talk about where we're going.
Not to beat a dead horse, but this would be gorgeous here in the fall with some leaves and some amazing lighting. But we're here with no leaves whatsoever, no clouds, and the worst lighting. So I'm driving up toward the place called Laurel, I think it's Laurel Falls, pretty sure. I'm not anticipating there being a parking spot because there was not a chance I was going to be able to park on the way here, but we'll see. I saw a sign that said it closes January 6th, and I think it's probably for the winter. Maybe they can't maintain it. Maybe these roads get icy. There's a lot of, like that said, road closed. The campground on the other end of the bridge where I was closed for the winter. Again, optimal time to be here, October, November, for scenery, but obviously it's going to be extremely crowded and probably pretty similar to the traffic that was down in Gatlinburg for New Year's. So I could go to the left. Cades Cove is down there, as well as Townsend. Townsend's about 14 miles. Cades Cove is 19 miles. I've been to both of those. In fact, I might share just a really quick clip of some Cades Cove images, because I went here before. The last time I came here, I don't think I posted anything. I was driving through here right around the pandemic time, I think. All right, so we're going to head up to this place called Laurel Falls, I believe. And cross your fingers, maybe we'll get a good shot here, a couple good shots. It's an hour-and-a-half hike. No, it's not. It's a mile-and-a-half hike each way. If we can park. All the spots to the left are full. If we can't park, we're going to shift. Shift focus. Shift our attention. Shift our energy. To a drive, there it is, Laurel Falls. To a drive through the park. Speaking of parking, I actually have a spot. Check this out. Oh yeah. This dude is lucky. Well, I'll be lucky if I could fit in here. Oh my God, I'm here. Laurel Falls, here we go.
This is one of those Instagram versus reality moments.
The harsh reality is that was a very Instagram versus reality moment. I think the only way I would ever take this hike again is going to be three metrics I must reach. One, to be a little bit more in shape. Number two, do it in the fall. Number three, do it when there's better light. And I should mention a fourth. Do it at a different time of the day. I think I'm going to hyperlapse my way back. Enjoy.
This is this kid that's been running off the path. I call it mountain parkour. He hasn't hit a tree yet, but we're about halfway down the mountain. Not saying it's gonna happen, but it could happen. He's running through here like a little billy goat. If I try to do that, my leg would give out. And I'd chow. So if I knew what it was going to be like up there, would I have done the hike? That's the question. The short answer is yeah, of course. Because it's good exercise. Why not? Just because I'm here at the wrong time of the year, wrong time of the day. Would I bring this? Not so much. I didn't even snap one single shot. It was just people looking at me like, what are you doing here with that thing? One of the kids says, oh, he's going to get a good photo. And they watch me sit down on a rock, eat a piece of taffy, and record some iPhone clips, making fun of the entire situation in front of me. Again, shifting my focus. I went there as a landscape photographer, and I settled on being a comic, reviewing the scene through a comedic lens. That sounded stupid. Anyway, about to see Parkour Billy again. Stand by. There's another one. He's jammed. So you got the cops up here now, the flashing blue lights. This is one of those moments where I'm going to get in the car and not going to want to drive immediately, and there's going to be like 15,000 people trying to get my parking spot. Couple quick things, couple observations.
clearly says no pets. Saw 3 dogs up there. Saw 2 people pushing strollers. Not a good thing. And hold on a second, let me show you something. That's a little harsh, but in other words, don't feed the bears. So yeah, would I do it again? Of course I would. Less a camera. Don't even think about pushing a baby stroller up there. Chatting briefly with the ranger here, and apparently closes down in January 6th for 2 years. They're going to totally redo that whole path, putting in a bigger parking lot, new restrooms, or some restrooms. And so I'm so glad I went. It's what it looks like before. In fact, I'll probably put that in the title. I doubt it. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Uh-oh. Warning. Oh, they're going to tow them. Not good. They're going to tow them too. And them. Don't park here. See, there's cars with green tags all over the place. A couple courtesy notices. That's why you pay for parking. And leave the ticket on your dashboard like I did. National Park's cranking out the fees today. You know, I'm not a landscape photographer, but I think I play one on TV. No, that's not true. I really do enjoy photographing landscapes. And part of the... Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah, I got the front camera on. I don't know how well you can see it. There's a little dust of snow. Oh, yeah. In the mountains ahead of me. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, when you look at calendars and scroll the web and wherever you see amazing landscape images these days, on scrolling through social media when everybody's posting AI created ones. I mean, even the AI ones draw, even if they're fake and they're based on some sort of a reality, some sort of a place, but they're augmented. It really does inspire me to get out and be amongst the trees and the flowers and the water and the leaves and the mountains and the scenery. And to be honest with you, the quiet, I just had a warning pop up, says ice possible. Anyway, it really does inspire me to get out and just do all of that, be amongst all those elements, and enjoy the beautiful light. You know, as you can see in front of me, this is the kind of stuff I look for. See how the sun's coming in from the right side, and even though there's no color from the trees, as far as leaves, there's that beautiful dappled light on the tree trunks and the branches. Now they're all front lit, so it's very flat. We were looking from the side at that turn, and now we're in the shade. Completely different look. I think I see if there's some fog or snow flowing through. How cold is it? It's 37. No chance that was snow. There isn't a cloud in the sky. So here's the plan. I'm going to get down here by the visitor center, follow the signs to Newfound Gap, and get the hell out of here. We're leaving Gatlinburg. It's now 3:20, and I don't want to monkey around. The ranger had told me about a couple of other waterfalls, but the challenge there is there are even longer walks. One of them's 5 miles round trip, one of them's 8 miles round trip, but you have to get into Gatlinburg to get to them. If I was here one more night, I would think about doing that, But if I do that, it's going to be pitch dark when I'm on Newfound Gap, if I can even get on it, because they're going to probably close it again tonight when it gets cold and there's icy conditions. It's not too windy, so that's nice. Anyway, we're going to head to Franklin. That's our stop for tonight. I have a little bed and breakfast lined up. Yeah, hopefully we'll enjoy some nice scenery along the way. It's a nice light. That's all we can hope for. Alright, I'll see you somewhere along the Newfound Gap. Not sure why they call it that. Maybe it's a good place for a voiceover. Maybe. You know, sometimes music and imagery just moves me to a place that I can't hold back my emotion. I was rounding the corner and I'm listening to this soundtrack from The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. And I put it on every once in a while when I'm driving through the mountains, because to me it's so it just paints the picture, helps paint the picture of freedom and exploration and just seeing the landscape and everything. I mean, I love that movie, but the soundtrack, it helps me visualize and helps me emotionally experience what I'm seeing. Not that I cry every time I have it on, but every once in a while, I mean, it just hit me. I rounded the corner, and I don't have a shot of it. Maybe I do on the front-facing camera, but is the white with the freshly fallen snow on some trees that are up there. I mean, it's, as you could see, there's branches, and it's like ugly, but that snow up there, and it just reminded me of the amazing drives that I had around Mount Hood, and where else was I at? Around, where the hell was it at? It was in Oregon and Washington when I first started this trip, and Mount Rainier. And I just flashed back, 6 months ago when I started this. 7 months ago, and then I just started playing in my head and fast forward, fast replay all the places I've been, and I realize how lucky I am and blessed for so many reasons. One, to be able to have the time to do this, or to take the time to have the not the guts, but just the gumption, the will to want to do this, because it takes a lot of work. And not only that, it just takes time, and it takes money. And I realize how blessed I am to be able to take this. I'm calling it a gap year. I never took a gap year before high school, before college, before entering the workforce. And I feel like I'm doing that now, even though I'm still working and I have active investments and I have jobs that I have to get home to. I feel mentally I'm taking a gap year, and I've been turning down some projects because I want to do this. I want to see the country. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I'm here by myself, and I just had to express, I guess, to myself how I felt. And everybody else that's watching this, even if it's one person that I I kind of inspire, or I move to a point where they decide to go out and see some things, or they just enjoy this through my eyes and through my visuals and my journey and maybe my comments and whatever. So if you're here along for the ride with me or watching this entire thing, I really appreciate it. Thanks for being here, and try not to get too emotional again. Back to the music, back to the drive.
So I had a lot more driving clips here, some clips from the iPhone, some clips from multiple cameras hung all over the car, because I really, really like this journey through the Newfound Gap. Again, I've been on this thing several times, and this was pretty unique because the morning started out with me not really knowing whether this place was going to be open. And as you could see, I'm on it now, and shortly after I exited this trip, or this journey on this, well, I guess an expressway through the Smoky Mountains. Shortly after I got off of this thing, they closed it down for icy conditions, so I was pretty lucky to experience what I did. I, of course, got choked up a few more times as I was driving through here. I talked to the camera a couple of times. The microphone was actually in my pocket, so it sounded pretty bad. Plus, I really wasn't saying too much.
I just realized that microphone was in my pocket.
There was one point that I did talk to camera. I was expressing my gratefulness for being able to actually see. So we'll go to that, and then we'll take it out to some more images, and then I end up in Franklin, and I think I had a few more things to say to camera. Again, I know I say it all the time, but I really mean it. Thanks for being here, and I hope you enjoy the scenery.
I can't believe I drove this road at night. It's got a lot of zigzags, and I was pretty thankful when I arrived in one piece. Anyway, one of the things that drove me to over the edge emotionally was the fact that I can see. I've probably harped on about this way too many times, but I had retinal detachment a couple of years ago. That wasn't I have an action cam on the roof of the car, and my hope is that it's still on the car. Taken forever to get this out, but I had a retinal detachment surgery when I was, in May. Oh, there's snow in the ground here. Look at this. Retinal detachment surgery, again, in May. Not in May. It was a few years ago. And I can't even begin to say how blessed I am that I had the doctors that I did at Bascom Palmer, and they operated on my eye, and eventually I had cataract surgery to go with that eye, and I can see great with my left eye now. I mean, it's not perfect, but sometimes it's better than my good eye, my right eye. And I realized how close I was to losing that. And oddly enough, the girl that's watching my cat now, she had the same thing on one eye, and then she had the same thing on the other eye, and that eye still closed. And I'm praying for her. I hope things work out, but right now it's not looking too good. I say that because she told me that in a text, but we're passing through an area now that has a little bit of snow. It's kind of cool. I'm going to be getting up to the center here. It's the Newfound Gap. I don't know if there'll be anywhere to park, but it's the highest part of this park, probably the windiest and the coldest and the snowiest. I'm not sure what I'm saying here. I'm just kind of speechless in a way. I'm still in an emotional state right now where I'm just thankful and grateful for so many things. And it's nice to feel that way. It's nice to have things to be grateful for, you know. It's really snowy up here. I can't believe I didn't see any of this on the way down. Oh my God. Yep. Wait till you see this photo. Oh my God, this is going to be awesome. There's a creek there, and I have a little bit of light, but not much, but I have snow. I'm going to go compose a cool shot, I hope. Well, I hope that came out. That was, in my mind's eye, I kind of saw an image that was happening. I hope I was able to get into frame it up well, and the lighting was okay. It's a little flat because it was in the shade, but what I liked about it is obviously the snow element, but also the light that was on the mountain in the background. Not sure how it came out. I'm heading up the mountain a little bit more. I thought it was getting really dark down there, but it's because it was. I was down in the cavernousness of these mountains. I'm getting really up high now. I'm not sure where. Again, I just can't believe that I was driving this in the pitch dark and didn't see any of it. We're up so high now, you kind of see, again, this little bits of snow here and there. Oh man, because I keep seeing these places. You know, I wasn't really keen on focusing my attention toward photographing. That was an awkward sentence. I wasn't really keen on photographing the creeks and the rivers here, because what's this up here? Oh man, there's no parking is what it is. I remember this tight turn in the dark. I don't remember seeing it, but I remember driving it. Oh man, I wish I could park here. Wow, I'm in the snow, the most snow. Look at that ice on that rock to my left. Oh yeah, people are hiking down there. Well, I keep saying next trip. The guy behind me is literally right behind me. Dude, this isn't a fucking race, man. Whoa. I'm sure that looks good. Good. The guy's blinded. Perfect. That was a pull-off I really would have liked to have actually gone on. I think I would have gotten some good shots. Anyway, I'm realizing now the section that I'm filming with the iPhone is the section that the windshield wiper does not clean. So it couldn't be any worse of a section of the windshield. I'm going to slow down now. And I wonder if I could park here somewhere. That's what everybody's saying. I'm fucking driving in here. Is this one way? I'm only going one way. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Wow, we're almost at an hour on this thing. Yeah, I'm definitely going to bring this thing in for a landing in a couple of minutes. But I just wanted to mention, as I'm looking at some of this footage, again, I'm editing this now over a year past when I was there. And I'm currently working on something else now called Chasing Light and Story, which is a website that's dedicated to kind of tying everything together in my creative life here as I head into my mid-60s. I'm about to hit, 62 years old, but pretty quickly coming up on 63. And there are 63 national parks. And what I really want to try to do is visit all 63 national parks with a fresh perspective and, with an intention of capturing light and story. The stories of others, the stories of the park, and certainly, again, using my, I guess, unique perspective on how to photograph or how to see the light. So as I'm editing some of this footage, I'm realizing how maybe I was actually realizing that even over a year ago, that's maybe the intention of where I wanted to take my creative journey or my direction. After I left this area and got down out of the mountain, I ended up in an area where a bunch of elk were. I can't remember the name of it. If I can find it, I'll put the name here. And I think I had a few things to say. By the way, look at that beautiful light over there on the right side. That's why they call them the blue. Well, you can't see it now. Anyway, so we're going to go to that, and then we'll end up in Franklin, and then we'll call this thing an episode. One of the longest episodes I've ever put together. So if you're still here, you're part of the tribe. Thanks for being here.
Look at this guy coming right in front of me. It's like a whole field of them out here. It's a field of elk here, but I can't help but focus on these fucking clowns. They say to stay 50 yards away. 50 yards! Look at this. Let me get a selfie with them. Fucking idiots. Look at it. Look at it. Let's pet him. Here. Eat this. Look at him. He's trying to feed him. What a fucking idiot. There's like a field of elk. There's elk everywhere. Look at them all down there. There's like hundreds of them. I'll pinch in on these closer ones. Look at that. They got him pinned in. One of these assholes was trying to feed the fucking thing. Look at him. He's like pinned in. Go ahead. Charge her. I dare you.
Mike, why the harsh language? Yeah, you should see what I edited out of this thing. I took a few shots from the car, the safe distance. Like I said, I think it's 50 yards. You're supposed to stay away from these unpredictable animals here in the wild. Beautiful when you step back and respect nature. Not everything has to be an Instagram moment.
Anyway, enjoy some of these shots. They're not the best, but I took a few of them before I headed down into, again, like I said, a town called Franklin, and then we'll close this thing out. By the way, just if you want to search elk incident on YouTube, there's just a ton of stuff there. Enjoy.
Just ate at a place called the Chop House. What is this? Ruby drop on New Year's Eve Main Street. So they dropped the ruby. I guess this is like a gem. They say this is one of the, I don't know, this town's known for gems, I guess. It's very cold. I think it's like 26 degrees, something like that. They got a lot of nice shops here. It looks like a very active town. In fact, right around the corner, it's like a little Christmas. Oh yeah, check this out. Franklin, North Carolina. Should I dare? Yeah, why not? The seat's either really cold or wet. The Christmas stuff's still up. Well past the holiday, but check out some of the images from, I don't know where they're from. John McLean Photography, Fine Art. Here's his info. Small town. What a cute little town. It's the kind of town that, in all my years of driving around, I've literally driven through these kind of towns and not stopped. And I like on this journey this year that I'm taking the time to stay in them and experience them. I think I'm going to really try to go into a couple of these shops tomorrow, talk to some local people about their town, you know? Anyway, my car's back in this alley. And so I had a good dinner. There was a special surf and turf, 3 shrimp and a sirloin for like $19, and it was really good. It had an alcohol-free beer, the German one I've had before. Not sure about this bear mural. It's my little cottage here. Cute little place. I'm off of the main building. I'll introduce it to you on the next episode. It's some sort of bed and breakfast off of Main Street, Harrison Avenue, I think it is. Anyway, I went back to get my car, went back that alley, and there was 2 or 3 people yelling at each other, and there was a couple of cars, and it was kind of a weird scene, so I didn't record from there. This is a weird closing, isn't it? By the way, there's my room. Battery's dying. 10% left. I think tomorrow we're going to capture some waterfalls between here, which is Franklin, and Highlands, which is where I'm staying tomorrow night. So that'll be on the next episode. Thanks for being here. I'll see you then. As always, more on all this later.